What's up, peeps? Let's talk stud service program. So, for those of you who don't know, we offer a reward program for anybody who uses our stud service. The reason why we created the entire program is because we are breeding first stable. We do enjoy racing, but we don't have the time to actively play the game in that way. So, Hero Krapht, we have been primarily focused on the breeding aspect, breeding, selling, researching, and doing more and more of that to provide income for the stable. So what we want to do is we wanted to drive a need for people to choose our studs over one of the random ones that are in the stud barn. To do that, we are trying to create disproportional rewards by giving away good horses. We do not want to breed and give away shit. That's not the game we're in. And not that there's a problem with giving away any type of horse, because a free horse is still a free horse. And as long as there's free racing, that's great. And once party mode comes about, there's all kinds of great ways you can run the absolute worst racers and still have fun doing it. But when we give away a horse, we want to make sure that there's potential for the user to be able to do something with it, especially because they have to breed with one of our horses to get access. So we're going to continue to expand the program, and that's the primarily reason why we're making this video right now. And we also want to collect more data on breeding. If we have 5 studs and we only have 10 mares, we only can mix and match those so many times before it's more the same. And that's not the best way to collect data. So we figured by opening up the program to the public, incentivizing people to use it, that's going to increase the diversity of horses that are bred with our males, and then we'll be able to collect data on different combinations much more easily. So the current state of the program, you buy 1 stud cover. That cover counts as 1 raffle entry into a monthly drawing where you get a UUU. Now, if you bought multiple covers, you get multiple entries. So that way you can be continually rewarded for being a repeat customer. And that lifetime entry is good for life. We're never taking that away. But we wanted to add something a little different. So there's going to be a second raffle that goes on every single month. And the only people who qualify for the second raffle are those who bred during the actual month cycle. So if you breed January 1st to January 31st, you get entered into the current month drawing, or the current user drawing is what we're calling it for now, for lack of better terms. And then you will also qualify separately for the lifetime drawing. Now, the way we're breaking it up to make sure that too many people don't keep winning and don't just buy all the studs to win free horses is if you buy a horse, or if you buy a stud cover between January 1st, January 31st, first and last of any month window, your raffle entries count towards that new user one. They don't count towards the lifetime until the following month. So that way we don't give anybody disproportional ability to win both raffles in a single month. That's kind of what that goes over. So, yeah, we want to create a reward system that's not just for lifetime supporters, but also people who are coming new into the system. So, new rules and standards of organization for the Hero Krapht stables and anybody working with me directly is we will never change the stud program during the current month. So any changes that do happen going forward, I'm announcing this in December for January's changes. So that way, if you don't like some of the changes, you can change how you invest your money and not necessarily use our stud program. So we'll never do it mid-month. We'll never do it after studs are sold. It'll be 100% this is being announced now for the following raffle cycle. As a stable, we will never take more than 1 stud cover per horse in any given month. So that way there's the maximum amount of opportunities for the public to participate. And that way, if you want multiple entries, you can get them. Because it'd be very easy for us to only allow one entry, per person by stealing all the studs, since we know exactly when they're going in. But that's not what we're trying to create. We're trying to create an ecosystem where people can come, find decent horses to breed with, eventually great horses to breed with, and be able to rely on them being there. Now, the only other time there's an exception to this is on the last day of the month. If there's still multiple covers open within 1 hour of midnight Eastern Standard Time, we're going to use my time zone because that's where I live, then I will be able to sweep all covers. That being said, I will never, a Hero Krapht stable will never receive raffle entries. So none of my stables, and if there is any contracted or partnerships that happen, those stables will not be able to receive raffle entries either, as long as they're associated with the Hero Krapht brand. So because it doesn't make sense that I'm giving away free horses to myself. That's not what I'm trying to do. Studs will remain at minimum in the stud service for the foreseeable future. I don't want to jack up the prices because I'm giving away free shit. I'd rather, if I can't afford to continue the program in its capacity, I'd rather give away slightly weaker horses, slightly cheaper breeds, than spike up the prices on everybody. Because like I said, I really want this to be a reliable place where people can come and breed their horses and not necessarily have to worry about where they're going to get a mail every single month. So, yeah. Now I will be reevaluating this every quarter, just because if the market moves toward nobody's listing Genesis horses at minimum anymore, adjustments will have to be made, one, to disincentivize poachers who maybe don't even know about the program, and two, to make sure we can remain profitability with the program, so that way we can continue to expand it. I don't want it to stay the same it is now. I want it to continue to grow and be able to offer more value. All changes will be explained, not only as to what they are, but why we came to the conclusion we did and why the change would have to be made. So with adding the additional raffle, we're seeing a lot where some users have used the stud servers up to 5 times, which is great, but it's only been out for 2 months. And they have a very large portion of the raffle pie right now. And because there's been some success, I would imagine that they continue to want to use the service. So adding the secondary raffle and splitting it so that way anybody new who comes in doesn't have to compete with lifetime earners, I believe is fair and creates a better ecosystem for everybody. We'll also be open to feedback. If we make a decision and it's not something that's accepted greatly by the community, well, let me know. Let my team know. And right now the team's just me. But yeah, let us know. I want to know what people are thinking. There is some things in the future where I see we can put it up to a potential vote. If I make a mistake and it does not perform as planned, then, I'm open to feedback on what people want to see. I bought the Finney Genesis because of a survey that was done. There's also, it looks like, based on surveys that I produced, that a good Z2 Legendary Nakamoto might be something that the stud users, you all, are interested in breeding with. So stuff like that. I don't want to just buy what I want to buy or buy minimum horses. I want to buy what I think is going to be productive for everybody, to where we can turn a small profit, and in return we can offer you guys rewards with not only good breeds, but good free horses. Going forward, all raffles will be done on a live stream. I'm not going to be doing the raffles recorded and published, so that way there is absolutely no opportunity for people to try to say that there's unfair playing going on. Because not only is my reputation with the community extremely important to myself, but I want people to feel safe spending the type of money that we do in Zed-Run, and knowing that they're not going to get screwed, because there's been so many scams, there's been so many issues, and not everybody is as genuine as they pretend to be when there's great opportunity in front of them. So what platform and when those take place, it will be announced. The live streams will stay up. And if I do it on, say, Twitch or something, I will republish it to YouTube. But it will always be done live going forward. Just to get that out of the way. Now, things we're considering. So like I said, as this grows, we want this to be as inclusive and fair as possible, while also creating significant upside for pre-existing users and people who have been using the stud program from the beginning. So one of the things that we're looking at doing is staggering the studs. Instead of putting every single horse in the stud barn immediately, put them in for 7 days. When that 7 days expires, add another one. So that way, if you don't have a mare that's ready to breed January 1st through 7th, you can still participate in the program when your mare resets on the 25th. One of the also things that we're looking at doing is rotating the weeks that the studs are available. So that way, if your mares always are ready to go on the 18th, but the stud that you want to use or you prefer using doesn't fall on your window, you can always have an opportunity to breed with it in the future. I will be playing with this a little bit, and as we add more horses and as things become a little bit more complicated, there will most likely be a monthly schedule that gets posted of when every single horse will be entering the stud barn. So that way you can kind of plan accordingly where to save your breeds and everything else. I do need to create a way for stud users to know when they're going to go in that isn't fully released to the public, so that way we're not getting sniped. I don't know if I want to create my own Discord server, to be honest. I don't know if that's the best method, but we'll figure something out. You know, I really want to keep the value in-house as much as possible and make sure that people who want to use the program for the sake of the program are able to, especially as we start acquiring better horses. You know, I have my eyes on a couple more Finneys that I really, really want. They're a little bit pricey, but they're some of the best breeding Finneys in the game. And I want to be able to bring those into the stud program for everybody to use. Now, one of the things that we're also looking at doing is future purchases to accommodate potential events. So because in the Roadmap 2.0 there's ideas that look like they might be doing coat color, there might be some exclusive events for super coats, maybe even super rares, we might start acquiring horses that are less attractive as breeders, but would give us opportunities to create different coat colors within the different color blocks. You know, maybe we'll pick up a less than satisfactory moon horse or a less than satisfactory earth color, just so if you need a stud to produce something for a specialized event, you have that potential to do so. So stay tuned for that. I'm not exactly sure how we want to divert funds to do that, but it's definitely something we're looking at. And then the other one that I'm really looking into is the reverse stud or custom breeding program. So because we are breeding focused, I'm fairly satisfied with the way that we've been able to breed horses. Some of them have not been able to hold up to the changes in Zed with things like fatigue and some of the other things that we've been seeing. But in the event that you want a horse off of one of our mares, in the future, that might be something that you can order and then pay for directly in a private sale. So that's something that we're looking at doing. Because like I said, I'm really interested in the breeding aspect of the game. I really like that passive version of the game. I'd rather spend 10 hours a week researching breeding combinations and bloodlines versus grinding out races. So that means I sell everything I breed, plus or minus a couple horses, then that might be the direction we go. So the details on that will be coming. If you have any questions, concerns, or ideas about that, please let me know. One of the things that isn't listed on here that we are also going to implement for the stud program is if you win any consecutive raffles. So if you win the monthly and the lifetime, if you win 2 lifetimes, you'll be put on a 1-month probationary period to allow other people to have an opportunity to win. Just because I really appreciate those who have used our service several times. And I think having a really high opportunity of winning, say, 6 months out of the 12 is more than fair, especially with some of the potentials out there right now with how big of a pie, like I said, some of these people own. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that right now. But once again, that's up to consideration, right? Like if that goes and a couple people in the community are really having an issue with it, and the majority sides that they don't like that idea, we'll eliminate it. But going forward, I don't want repeat winners just every single month getting these free horses. Because my goal is if I can give away a decent horse that you can make money with racing, make money with breeding, or I don't even care if you sell the damn thing, then you'll have a reason to come back. And you'll be able to expand your stable because not only did you breed with one of our studs and you got a foal, but you were also able to use the things that were given away to build. Because we really want to be able to create building blocks for people because this game is hard. Like, it's a very simple process to play, but to be profitable and successful, it's hard. And as bigger companies and big money comes in, it's only going to get harder and harder for smaller stables like us. So I really want to build out this program in a way to where as many people can win as possible. And as it grows, I don't see a reason why we can't do 4, 5, 10 giveaways in a month by the end of the year. It's really very, very feasible from what I've seen already. So, if you want to stay in touch with the updates, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, concerns, reach out. Definitely leave a comment, though, so that way other people can kind of see what you're thinking and they can expand on the conversation. Because even though this program is really about, my horses, it's really about building the community in the way that the community wants to be built. I have a lot of things I'd like to do in the future with this and a very long-term vision for the stable. And it all starts with what it is you guys think is good and what fits into your strategy. So we're going to change pace real quick and just kind of show off the studs and what they've done so far. So Deserving Light has sold one cover. Pie Time and Ozzy have sold out very quickly every single time they've been in. And South Zeal is our newest horse. We'll just go through them and know your horse here. So South Zeal is our newest addition. He was a Finney that we just snagged. I'm really excited about this horse. One, because it's a Finney Genesis. Like, the market on these are going crazy right now, and I was happy I was able to get one before too late. But if you look, we do have a slightly left-leaning winning position, so hopefully higher potentials. But if you look at some of the horses that it's ran, or it's bred with, Genghis Khan here looks like it got retired pretty early, but definitely overperformed its odds. Normally that's indicative of a more variant style horse. So this horse wasn't able to win as much as Genghis Khan, but does have a pretty decent flame rate. You have two other horses here, nothing great, almost 10% after 22 races. This means it's 1-2. But that means it's potential, right? If you can find a better mare to breed with than whatever these were, you could potentially get a better horse. Or if you just get a little bit more RNG on your side, that could be good too. This horse was able to win in its first 10 races. This horse here is at 10% over 600 races. I'm very happy with that type of win rate. And I was able to remain profitable. So that's pretty exciting. Tyler Rose, 17 odds, not too exciting. I accept this Rose. I like that I was able to win a race within its first 10. So some potential there. This horse has a 13% win rate over 66 races. It's not profitable, but it still shows that there is some sort of breeding potential, because there is some horses I've seen that no matter what they breed with, the horses just don't win. Another 20 odds horse, and a profitable 8% winner over 68 races. So there's potential here, right? And we're seeing everything from Finney Legendaries to Beater and Legendaries, 1 exclusive, 2 exclusives, and 3 exclusives. So it looks like the exclusives are actually performing better than the legendary horses being bred off this. Something to maybe keep in mind. But yeah, so I'm really excited to be able to add a Finney Genesis to the stud program. And like, this is my purchase. I could get a discount from breeding with it in-house, and I'm not going to unless you guys leave me covers at the end of the month. So it's going to kind of hurt a little bit, because that means I have to pay more for my own breeds. But like I said, this is about you guys. It's what I'm trying to build here. Pie Time. Pie Time's a fun horse. I picked him up a while ago. But if we look at his ancestry, a little bit of swinging and a little bit of missing. So Pure Ice did not pan out. Really bad RNG there. Cheeks Time did pretty good. That was a good exclusive from one of my best breeders. Pure Lust, I kind of ran her into the ground during Fibonacci 1.0. And that was also back when you couldn't downclass using freeze. So she would continually get pushed up to the top of 4. And just, it wasn't working out too well. But it's a horse that is able to win. Moldy Pickle has pulled off a win itself. Hot Pie, just not very hot. Not gonna lie. Did not do well at all. Itchy Bum. I would imagine is not comfortable running with an Itchy Bum. Stonewashed. Not profitable. Over 50 races. And forgot name of this horse. Was a really strong horse. Is still profitable though. Over 179 races, which is good to see. But yeah, so Pie Time has some potential. Not anything too, staggering, but with the right RNG and the right combination, I think there could really be something fun there. Looks like it produces a lot of distance horses too. That's interesting. Deserving Light. So this was the most expensive breed I think I've ever paid for. I think this actually costs more than. Yeah, so this costs more than what my my Zabo cost. This was one of my very first bred horses. But he's been bred one time. It is a Z16 legendary and produced Burning Light here, which is a Z32 exclusive. So it was able to win 2 races in its first 32, so not bad. There is a little bit of potential there if you're interested in breeding with legendary buttes. And then we have Mom Thought, one of my most fun horses. Fun story behind it. And this is actually a horse that I'm looking at breeding with quite a bit myself here in the near future. But yeah, so Don't Run for Money. Don't let these numbers kind of scare you. Don't Run for Money was the horse that I bred specifically for the first ever official Zed Run tournament. And my goal was to be the first one on the leaderboard. It was actually a video further down in the list that I made, making this horse first for a day. So we essentially, as soon as the gates were open, ran 30 races in the first 20 hours and sat on the podium in first place for quite some time. But we were racing after we qualified every single race. This is back when you could still race up. So we were racing in Class 1 races with this horse. We were racing all over the place, trying to see what would happen when you're fully fatigued. Like we had 1% fatigue left because it won't let you drop below that because it's an average. And we're just running the hooves off this horse, trying to see what would happen. And seeing if it affected times and how bad it was coming in last. Did all kinds of nonsense to this poor thing. And after that, we were able to actually dial it in a little bit and snag a few wins. So yeah, she's up to 7 wins in 11 seconds. All of this is that first tournament, just absolutely burying the horse into the ground. But so yeah, don't let your numbers on that one scare you, because that's not a good representation. And then yeah, Blind Eye Splits was able to win a race, and we sold him off. But yeah, so those are the studs in the stud barn currently. Like I said, we're gonna be adding some more. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and I'm excited for 2022 and some of the other stuff that we have going on.